2017, Rich the Kid was running rap, was dropping hit after hit, and it felt like he wasn't slowing down. It was like all the work he was putting in was finally paying off. September of that year, he dropped one of, if not the biggest song in his career, New Freezer, featuring Kendrick Lamar, which went platinum not even a full year later. Then a few months after that, Plug Walk came out. People loved it. Everybody wanted some new Rich the Kid music. Everybody thought Rich the Kid was the one, next big artist, until he wasn't. After all he did, he fell in obscurity. So the question is, how did his career go from this to this? This is the story of Rich the Kid. Dimitri Leslie Roger, born July 13, 1992 in Queens. Early in his life, his parents divorced, and with that, he moved with his mom to Georgia. When Rich was in New York, he was listening to Nas, 50, them kind of rappers. But when he moved to the South, he started listening to T.I., Jeezy, basically the rappers that was running the South, which in turn influenced him to start rapping. Block Boy the Kid, his first rap name, which later became Rich the Kid, dropped his debut mixtape all the way back in 2013, Been About the Benjamins. A year after that, he dropped 2 collab mixtapes with Amigos, Streets on Lock 1 and 2. 2014, he was pushing music heavy. That nigga was going crazy. After them tapes with Amigos, he dropped another mixtape named Feels Good to Be Rich. We had some crazy features on there. Amigos, Soulja Boy, Thug. I could really keep going on about them features. But like I said, Rich the Kid wasn't playing. December of the same year, he dropped another tape named Rich Then Famous, which had even crazier features than the last one. Gucci, YG, Bobby Shmurda, and more people who was hot around that time. He just kept taking W. I could really go through all these tapes and projects he dropped, but it's just too many. And with all the work he was putting in, it was only a matter of time before he got signed. June 9th, 2017. Rich had all eyes on him. Labels calling 24/7 trying to sign him, throwing them crazy deals, offering anything just to get him. But he decided to go with Interscope, which might have been the best decision of his career. Rich said Interscope gave me the opportunity to take over the game completely, and I'm gonna take it. And that opportunity was a Kendrick feature. Rich knew what he was doing. He not dumb. And like I said earlier, New Freezer was the biggest song of his career, and that's what really put the mainstream on him. 2018 was a good year for Rich, but was also a year the public won't forget. Rich the Kid versus Lil Uzi Vert. Early 2018 was back when Uzi was having bad label problems. I'm talking about public label problems. He was always on Twitter arguing with his DJ, always talking down on DJ drama. And during one of Uzi's Twitter rants, Rich decided to add his input, which started something so much bigger than just a tweet. That's why you should have signed to Rich forever. I'm gonna come back to his label later in the video, but Uzi responded and said, boy, I'm not signing for no 20 racks. After this, nearly a month went by without him saying nothing to each other. Till one day, Rich had an interview, and the people interviewing him asked him about signing Uzi.
Yo, if Uzi didn't have a deal, would you sign him?
Nah, personal reasons I wouldn't sign him.
A few weeks later, Uzi got on IG trolling, posted a picture of him holding the crab and tagged Rich the Kid as the crab. I don't know what the joke is. I don't get the joke. I don't know if I'm just slow, but can y'all niggas please explain this joke to me? Back when it first happened, I still don't know why he called this nigga a crab. Like, bro, what did that mean? Rich ain't like that. So on the same day, he responded and was like, look at my son trying to be like me. But Rich ain't stopped there. The next day, this nigga got on IG and previewed the diss track. After that, things went silent for a few months until
bitch, Plug Walk. That's why I'm like, that's Rich the Kid, bitch. I'm about to get out the car, bitch. Can I get a picture? Something, bitch, something.
Uzi called him lacking. This was the first big L of his career, and this hurt his career bad, because you gotta think about it. A rapper running from another rapper, that's crazy, because for a rapper, their whole career is just based around their image. Running from another rapper is an image ruiner, and that's exactly what it did. To this day, people still clown Rich the Kid for running from Uzi. If academics go make a Rich the Kid post, 90% of them comments gonna be talking about him running from Uzi or saying he flopped and fell off. He might have had a lot of musical success during this time, but bad stuff just kept happening to him. A week or two after the Uzi situation, Rich the Kid got sent to the hospital. June 14, 2018. Rich the Kid was at his girl's house in LA. Two niggas ran in there demanding money and jewelry. And when Rich tried to fight back, 3 more niggas ran in the house, beating him and his girlfriend. But Rich got beat so bad to the point where he was unconscious in the hospital. All the people around him was trying to say his girlfriend set him up, because they had been going through a rough year. A few months before any of this happened, she filed for divorce. She claimed he was cheating on her with Black China, and also claimed that he used to constantly make her get abortions and abuse her. But who knows? Ain't no proof that she set him up. Could just be some lame ass nigga stealing.
That rapper Rich the Kid. He had arrived here this afternoon to record when he was robbed and assaulted.
Not even a full year later, Rich the Kid was at an LA studio. Rich and his friends left the stool. They got cornered in the alleyway. A group of niggas started demanding money and jewelry, but they wasn't going. They got the hint, and I guess the robber was getting his ass beat, so he let some shots go. And luckily, his aim was dog shit, so he ain't hit nothing. The most important thing I think to come out of this little section of the video is don't go to LA, bro. I'm telling you, it don't matter if you an upcoming YouTuber, you a rapper, or you just a regular nigga, bro. Don't go to LA. Anytime you hear about LA in the news, it's bad. Always. You hear YouTubers talking about everybody in LA fake. When it comes to these rappers, niggas getting killed because they going to LA. Rest in peace, PNB. Don't go to LA. If you go to LA, keep a scrap on you or be watching your back at all times, man. You don't know what's gonna happen. But after that, the L still didn't stop. Over the last few years, Rich the Kid's label been falling apart. If you didn't know, all the way back in 2016, Rich the Kid formed a label named Rich Forever Music. The once thriving and loved label lost everyone that made it important. When it first became a thing, the main faces of the label was Jay Critch, Rich the Kid, Famous Dex. The label going good, ain't nobody leaving, everything straight, till Rich the Kid signed Almighty J. It was like, after Almighty J got signed, it was just a domino effect. A few months after Almighty J got signed, he left the label because he fell out with Rich the Kid. Rich dropped the Almighty J song without asking Almighty J first. And then not even 3 months after Almighty J left, Famous Dex left, the face of the label. Even with all this going on in the background, Rich's career has been on a steady decline. Every album he dropped just do worse and worse. And then Uzi embarrassed him again. During Uzi's Eternal Tape rollout, he got on Twitter and said, I'm gonna drop when he dropped. And at the time, guess who was doing the album rollout? Rich the Kid. Uzi being Uzi, he really dropped on the same day as Rich the Kid and outsold him by nearly 300,000 copies. Then Rich was mad on Twitter talking about he ain't need 30 songs to go #1 and he didn't care about #1. Ever since 2020, Rich the Kid career just been going downhill. Probably even earlier than that. After like Plug Walk, nobody was really hearing about Rich the Kid like that. Recently, over the past few years, he been trying to make a comeback. First, he dropped a collab tape with YoungBoy, and it didn't work out in his favor. Everybody was saying Rich ruined it, and that album sold under 20K. Then what make it even crazier is that YoungBoy really tried to save Rich the Kid's career with that album. YoungBoy, arguably the biggest rapper in hip-hop, made an album with someone who had zero buzz at the time. Nobody was talking about Rich the Kid or cared about him at the time. And a few years after that, he betrayed YoungBoy because he went out to dinner with Lil Durk. If you don't know, Lil Durk and YoungBoy got some crazy beef. YoungBoy artist, Quando Rondo, close friend, killed Lil Durk's homeboy, King Von. So for Rich the Kid to be out at a dinner with Lil Durk after everything that's happened between them is, to me personally, some snake shit. But hey, what do I know? Maybe YoungBoy told him to be cool with Durk. A year after the YoungBoy tape, he dropped another collab tape featuring Lil Wayne, and that one sold 14K. So it's seeming like nothing Rich doing is really helping. Keep in mind, Rich went from selling 60K and peaking at #2 on Billboard to not even crack at 20K. And before anybody say it, I know collab tapes sell low, but even when Rich dropped solo projects, they still don't sell good. His Boss Man album that dropped on the same day as Uzi only sold 18K, and he dropped the EP last year, and I can't even find the first week sales. And usually when you can't find the album first week sales, it means the album flopped real bad. It's sad to see artists falling off, but it just seems like people getting tired of his music. I do hope he can come back one day, but time will tell.